Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay? New readings for Gemini every Tuesday and Friday. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Magician. Very good. Very wonderful energy. I feel like right now you really are having this kind of like an electrified mind. I feel like you're having a lot of great ideas. I feel like you're able to really make connections, figure things out. You're having a lot of insights. I feel like you might be even someone who, I feel like you really value education, but not necessarily like university, not formal education. Practical applications of wisdom, right? I feel like you know how to do things. I feel like you know how to fix things, relationships, appliances, right? Everything. I feel like you have this ability to fix anything because you understand how things work, right? You didn't just learn how to repair a toaster. You understand electricity. You understand mechanics. You understand relationships, right? You understand energy. And I think this is a very focused talent in you right now. I feel like there's an opportunity this month to really take advantage of this skill, yeah. To perhaps, teach others or to bring other people together to focus on some kind of a group activity. I feel like there's a need for communication here. You know, you might have this intense ability to fix things and understand things. Can you also, communicate? Can you teach those things? Can you teach the rest of us how to be that way? And I feel like you really value honesty as well. I feel like that's really important to you. I think you can put up with a lot of things. You're like Mercury, the Magician here. You're very, very adaptable. But the one thing that you cannot put up with is any kind of dishonesty, right? Well, we've got our first card here. Let's select our last card. And that's going to be the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. One random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to, maybe this one wanted to come out. Well, we're going to put that right there. We'll put Mr. Ed, the tiny horse, right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need, okay? If at any point during the reading, Gemini, you feel like you know what that card is, put your hunch, your prediction down in the comments. Okay, let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Anyway, we've got this Magician here, and the Magician is kind of the interface with the world, right? And I think you're very much focused on on what you're creating in your life, right? You have all this skill and talent, this wisdom, knowledge, experience, all this training. I imagine you probably speak several languages, or at least, more than one. I feel like you kind of know how to do everything. I'm getting this kind of jack of all trades, but almost like a master of a lot of them too. Yeah. I feel like you really have put in an intense effort into developing certain parts of yourself, of your mind, of your skills, your training. Maybe you even work in some sort of science or engineering field, something very technical. Maybe you're an electrician or an electrical engineer. But I feel like there's a deep understanding of systems and processes and fundamental energy patterns and the way energy flows and moves and interacts. I feel like that's very, very much at the forefront of your life right now. Okay, well, let's see what else is going on. What's our next card here? Oh, Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening. There is a definite doorway in front of you. There is a portal to a future life that I think it's one that might be a little intimidating. Excuse me. This is a sort of a painful process, a transition, a portal to the future. It's not always the easiest doorway to get through. Okay. So I think we have to understand how energy flows, right? You have to take a lot of this practical wisdom to figure out how you're going to get yourself through this doorway to this future state. Now, this is kind of a baptism by fire. This is going to burn away from you everything that's not essential, right? And the thing with Mercury, with the magician, likes to have a lot of things, likes to accumulate knowledge, likes to build up a lot of, images and ideas. So with this Eon card, it might be a stripping away of ideas down to the very core, very essentials, right? Only the real essential you can go through this doorway, okay? But I feel like this is an opportunity coming in your life in January to really level things up, to really take your essence, right, to the next level, right? Let's find out what might be going on here. Well, then we got an Ace of Pentacles. That's a pretty good start. This is telling me it is something that might be career related, something on the physical plane. And I think you're ready for a new start. You're ready to kind of step it up, This is kind of, to me, this feels like this portal here is kind of like a teleporter, right? And I think it really has the potential to take you to the very top of the mountain, to the very, very summit. Like you get to somehow bypass all of the intermediate stages of something and go right to the top. Does that make sense? And I don't think that's an opportunity that's offered to everybody. I think you're a special case. And it's almost as if somebody says, hey, you can come to the front of the line. Right. Very interesting. And it does feel financial. It feels like this is kind of like, it feels like this is a tremendous promotion almost, that you didn't have to kind of work your way up the ladder. It's just like, boom, you got a position, you got an office right at the top of the building there. We got a Three of Cups back here. It is a time for celebration. I almost feel like, did you meet somebody at a party recently that maybe is kind of involved in this, or it might be somebody that you met recently at some sort of a family thing or some sort of a get-together, maybe a holiday party. And I think it's that person that's going to kind of have this opportunity for you, or is like putting in a recommendation for you or something like that. You kind of have that connection that's going to allow you to skip the rest of the line. Yeah. And this card, I think, is also talking about the general kind of optimism that you have in life too. I think you're overall a very friendly person. I think people really do enjoy being around you. Four of Cups, even though you may not always enjoy being around them. And I think that this has a lot to do with this Mercury magician energy. It's, I wonder if you have a difficult time relating to people sometimes, that you think differently. Like myself, you might be neurodivergent. You might experience things in a different way than most people. Yeah. And so we don't have the same kind of reactions or experiences when we interact with other people. It's difficult for you perhaps to, let's say, open up your emotions a little bit. So the 4 kind of stays closed off. It stays kind of boxed in, where we're unsure if we should extend our emotions out or if we should let something come in. It's just kind of 4 walls here, right? So it's a box. And it's above everything. It's on the top of the path of the dove. So I think that this really is going between the 3 and the 4, it's almost like this is an opportunity for us to connect with people on a deeper level, to open our hearts up a little bit and be a little bit vulnerable, right? Be a little bit, but there's a 10, see? And that kind of is when we do this, when we do extend ourselves, when we do open ourselves up. Going from this 4, we have this 3, which I think was probably a recent, I don't know, it could be a company party, a holiday gathering, or just an outing with friends, or a family thing. We opened ourselves up here, and now we're kind of back to our usual place where it's just almost, there's almost a difficulty relating to people, And with the magician here, it's like perhaps we can relate more to information, to ideas, to energy, but on an interpersonal level, it's a little bit more difficult. And we don't see any swords cards here, for one thing. Not yet, anyway. And it could be that we're really looking for an opportunity to connect, to make these kind of bonds. I said this is maybe like a business promotion or something, but maybe this is really also opening the door for you to have these deeper connections with people. Yeah, to really, really bond with people on a level that is enriching, that adds value to your life, right? And it could be the value that we see with this Ace of Pentacles that's down beneath everything. That's, value. It's a coin, right? It's a disc. Something that enriches our lives. Doesn't have to be money, So this could be an opportunity for us to really step outside of ourselves, step outside of our comfort zone, and put ourselves out there, And the magician, too, is the ringmaster, center stage. This is when it's kind of your time to shine here, It's almost an idea that everybody's going to be looking at you. And it feels like it's going to be overwhelming a little bit. Okay, we've got the 10 of Wands here in the future position. It is something very necessary for your growth, whether this is a career thing, whether this is something at school, if this is something in your personal life. It's time for you to really let everyone witness your talents. Let everybody witness your gifts, right? And be generous with your energy. Here, the 10 of Wands again is sometimes exhaustion. Sometimes this is oppression. Sometimes this is too much pressure on us that we just feel like we cannot, perform under this kind of, weight, this heaviness. And this is that feeling of being very overwhelmed where we just kind of want to retreat, or we want to. It's either fight or flight. We get into that kind of mode, But I think that this card's also talking about the generosity of spirit, generosity of your creativity. I feel like you have something very unique about you that people want to be a part of. People want to witness it. Back to the Magician card, you might even be a kind of psychic or a medium, someone who can channel energies. And I feel like this really does open you up and make you vulnerable. So it's kind of, it's one thing to be, you're accessible. When you're out in public or you're on stage and you're performing, that's when you're open and vulnerable. But then off stage in your private life, we go back to being private people, right? We close things up again. So it's almost like the difference, that's maybe why we see that shift with the 3 and the 4 there. And I wonder if in your life it's starting to kind of, the line's starting to blur a little bit, right? Of where the boundary should be. Yeah. When is it okay to tell people to kind of stay away? And when is it something where, you've got this skill, this talent, this ability, this thing that you do, and it kind of, it's, I don't know, it's almost right to give it to people. Yeah. So there's this question of access and then shutting down that access. And I think I heard Maynard from Tool talk about this too when he was talking about his private life. You know, he says when you're on stage and you're performing, when you're in that character, when you're in that kind of mode, then you're accessible. Then there is no privacy. Then you are a public figure. But then when you're not, when you're in your street clothes and when you're not, in that role or on stage or in that character, then there's no expectation of access, right? And I kind of think that there's a difficulty now making that distinction, making that line for you. And I don't know if maybe you're a celebrity. I don't know. But I think just in terms of our personal life or our professional life, where is that boundary? Does your boss have a right to call you at 3 a.m. and ask you for help on a work thing? Well, that's private time. I'm not supposed to be accessible at that time, unless that's something that's already been agreed upon. So there seems to be a blurry division between your kind of public and personal lives, or your social life and your private life, or your work life and your home life, right? Or even your internal life and your external life, right? Between you and others. Yeah. And so this creates a weird dynamic, and the Ten of Wands sometimes talks about a codependence. Yeah. Or this idea that things are just too familiar. There's no boundaries, right? We need boundaries. We're going to shift to the path of the serpent now. And as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. And leave some comments for me. I really do appreciate getting the comments. New Gemini readings Tuesdays and Fridays. All right. Let's check the general energy now. Well, now we've got a court card here. There might be an air sign person in your life who is kind of involved in this situation with you. This is the Prince of Swords, double air, and this is, again, it's double air. There's two different worlds, but there's no wall between them. It's just, it can intermingle, and it's just, how do we separate that? Where do we kind of draw the line? What hard boundaries can we create? And let's say Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, whatever you need. But outside of those hours, don't talk to me, And it's difficult to make those distinctions. It's difficult to assert those boundaries, and it's difficult to stick to them and to communicate them. So we have some sort of confusion. This to me seems like a blurry card. I mean, it kind of even looks a little bit blurry. I don't think it's my camera. It just seems like it's not really well defined, right? And we need something that's well defined. So this is the card now of the environment. Oh, we've got a 9. We've got a 9 of cups. This is happiness in the environment. I think this is the ideal relationship that you want with your environment, with your life. You want fulfillment. You want to pursue your happiness, follow your bliss. You want physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, satisfaction, abundance, love, and fulfillment, right? And to do that, I think we have to know where they end and we begin. Yeah. Otherwise, we might feel like we're kind of always, in every aspect of our life, we're the performer. We're the magician on the stage. And this to me has this feeling of like, the sad clown. Everywhere they go, they're just, they're supposed to be this happy, jovial, clown. There's no private time. There's no escape from that. Always the performer. And I imagine a lot of people who have any kind of a public life get this, and I imagine it must be difficult to find there to be nowhere to go where you don't have to be who everybody expects you to be, okay? And again, you might not be a celebrity, hopefully not. If you are, can I have your autograph? But this takes place with friend groups. This takes place in family situations too. You know, you go to your family's house, family gatherings, holidays. Everybody seems to have an expectation of who you're supposed to be, what kind of mood you're supposed to be in, what you're supposed to do and say for them, you know, what they want to be audience to. And at work, you go to work, people expect you to be a certain way. Everywhere we go, we have a role, we have a character, we have something to perform. And I think that you're really looking for kind of an escape from that. I wonder even if this doorway here, this baptism by fire, is a way for us to kind of get out of this, to make this kind of this final disappearing act where we don't want to perform like this for others. So whatever this opportunity is, and I still think that you met somebody, maybe it's an air sign person you connected with at some sort of function, and they've got this unique opportunity for you. And maybe this is an opportunity for you to go into business for yourself, to stop feeling like you have to perform for others and do something that is for you. Do something that is yours, right? Maybe starting your own business, branching out, something kind of venturing off on your own a little bit, right? Because our ultimate goals, again, is this kind of fulfillment. And we want something that is fulfilling and satisfying and rewarding on every level of our being. Not just something that is just paying the bills, you know? I kind of, with the magician card, this is somebody who's just kind of performing for peanuts, right? There's not a lot of fulfillment in there, but you want something that is fulfilling. Yeah. You don't mind performing and kind of, utilizing your skills and talents, being who people expect you to be, if there was more value in it for you, if there was something deeper there for you, right? Not just as a spectacle for other people to witness, not just for the sake of the audience, right? There's the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is in the position of what we don't want, which is interesting. Now, I wonder if this is talking about us not wanting the intimate one-on-one love, right? I mean, that's what that card is really about. It's kind of the mutual exchange of affection. It's a one-on-one bond relationship, deep, spiritual, loving relationship. Maybe we feel like this is the obstacle. Maybe we feel like this is something that we aren't sure how to get. And maybe as we're always in some sort of a performance, we're in some sort of role, we're always kind of waiting for our cue, we're always on call, we're always ready to perform. Maybe we feel like a true, authentic bond with somebody is just how, you know? And I think it really requires us to know ourselves, to realize who we are authentically. You know, when the curtain closes, when the lights go down, when the music's over, you know, who are we? Because Mercury, the magician, is really, that's the work of the magus, of the magician, is to discover who it is. Because it can enter into combination with all sorts of different things. It can perform every different role. It can wear so many different hats. Can do so many different things, has so many talents and skills, and can play any character, right? Who is it really? It's like you think of the greatest, actor or actress in the world, and they can play any role. They have such a range, but who are they? It reminds me of the stuff Jim Carrey used to talk about. Well, Jim Carrey doesn't exist. It's just another character, right? I really do like Jim Carrey. And if you're out there, if you're watching, I don't know if you're a Gemini or not, but yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm more a fan of his serious work, his more dramatic roles, than his comedy even. I like the guy. Anyway, it's hard for us to find a really authentic bond with anyone if we don't feel that with ourselves first, And so I think that's why this card's in this difficult position here, is that we want love. We want connection. We want union. But we need to find that in ourselves too. And I think that we've been in this kind of closed off Four of Cups for a while because we don't we don't want to get hurt when we don't know how we can possibly have that, so we just build up these walls. We're a little cold to that sort of thing. Yeah. Now, this isn't a romance reading. Don't get me wrong. This is a little bit career, a little bit romance, a little bit spirituality. It's a life reading, I try to make them as rounded as possible. Well, now look what we have at the end. Now what we have? We have this Ten of Cups here. So this is kind of saying that, look, once we recognize what the difficulty is, once we acknowledge all this energy, it's almost like instantaneously we make progress, right? Almost instantly we kind of see that there is light at the end of the tunnel there, that there is this kind of perfect happiness out there for us, that we can strive for that. And this might even be kind of a callback to this Ace of Pentacles here, saying that, yeah, this is kind of, this is what we want, our ultimate goal, dream life, right? Perfect life, happy life. Everything we want, Maybe this is the opportunity for us to move in that direction. Maybe we are in a situation now where we're not able to discover our true self. We're not able to find who we really are, maybe because there's just too much pressure on us, there's a lack of boundaries, maybe there's too much codependence, whatever it is. Maybe now it's time for that fresh start. Maybe this is the month where we're going to move in this new direction and realize that we can get all this water energy. Look at all this water energy we have in the reading. 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10. Right? We got the good stuff. We're skipping all the bad stuff even. Right? We don't have a 5. 6 would be good for sure, but we don't have a 7, we don't have an 8. We've got all the good water here. And I think we just need to realize that we can have all of this. And whether this, again, it doesn't have to be romantic. This could be that sense of satisfaction with what we're doing with our life, with our career, with our education, with our family, personal life, friends, romance, spirituality, all of it, creativity. That's what the Ten of Cups is. It's everything. It's everything. It's your higher love. It's your kind of base desires. It's your physical body. It's your spiritual desires. It's everything, your creativity. This is your relationship with yourself. And in some ways, if we can get to the Ace, because the Ace is the Godhead, it is the spiritual self. If we can get to the Ace, then we can unfold it into the 10, into everything else. And I think that opportunity is coming right now. And I really think that there is, in a very practical way, a chance for you to move in a different direction with your life coming up in the next couple weeks. Yeah. Let's take a look at the mystery card. See what's going on here. See what Mr. Ed has for us. Talking horse, who would have thought? I'm talking horse right now as well. But that's because of the bronchitis. What do we need here? Well, we might need some air energy, maybe some swords. Maybe we need an Ace of Swords. And we need just one, one sharp edge to cut through everything that's not working for us, to be able to sever ourselves from anything. We need one sword to draw that line in the sand, right? To draw that boundary. It's like a pen, Think an Ace of Swords here. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Well, we've got the Star. And maybe this is a good start. I think the Star here is important because it's, for one, I'm feeling that there is, there's a motherly figure near you, with you, watching over you, perhaps. I feel a strong connection with maybe an H in their name, but they have a very strong maternal energy about them. And I feel like they really are with you, and they really are supporting you and trying to encourage you. And they want you to embrace all of this water energy. They want you to feel, the love, the acceptance, the joy, the satisfaction and fulfillment of a life that is full and rich, right? I feel that very strongly with you, that there is that strong connection with you right now. It might be someone even that they might have transcended this plane. I don't know if they had some sort of issues with their bladder or kidneys or something, but I'm getting that kind of a thing. And for some of you, I think this person, maybe one of your fondest memories with this person is they had some sort of stained glass in their house or something, or maybe where they worked, or I don't know if it's a panel in a screen or something, like in the dining room, but I'm getting like a stained glass kind of image. So it could be, could be a parent, could be a grandparent, great-grandparent, something like that. But I feel like they're very close to you, and they're very supportive of you. Yeah. And they want you to find your star. They want you to find your spiritual self, right? Because once we find that, then all this other water can unfold. Then that water really flows, right? The water bearer from the star. And this is your lodestar. This is your guiding principle. This is yourself trying to show you the way. Yeah. I feel very, very strong emotions coming in to the room right now, and I think that I think they're happy emotions. I think it's kind of almost a relief. It's almost like tears of relief and joy together, because I think maybe things have been quite tense for a while. And now I think it's really time to kind of let things go. We don't have the Ace of Swords that we need, maybe in the extended reading. But we've got something better, I think. We've got our starlight. And we've got this confirmation of very supportive spiritual energy around you right now. Very supportive. Okay. Now we're going to head into the extended, and if you want to stick around for that, click either above or below in the video description. New Gemini readings every Tuesday and Friday, but I'm here every day, so just come on back tomorrow. Let's talk again. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And leave me a shout out where you're watching from. Our audience is worldwide, and I really love to see that. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. And we're all in this together.